Hey, Phil, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Great, appreciate you joining us. Can you tell us how you think Caden Wallace played, making his first start? And James seems pretty high on his upside. I assume you feel the same way. Can you tell us what it is about him that has the staff kind of excited about his upside?
Yeah. He's really athletic. He takes coaching. He's smart, which is something that is great to have. So he has all the no talent things, and then also he has great talent. So for his first start, I thought he did a great job, and we're going to keep building off it. And you can see this week in practice, he's really trying to work on those things that he needs to get better at.
Greg Pickle, Penn Live.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Michael Menet said yesterday that he feels like the offensive line is more prepared now compared to week one, which obviously with the game and practice reps makes sense. But from your vantage point, what has changed in a positive way about your group between Indiana and now?
Coach Soraka and me, we've been hard on them, just the mentality, the mentality of every snap, 4 to 6 seconds of, mentality of, attacking your opponent. And, I think, as the weeks went on, they just felt more comfortable at it, in me coaching and how I prepare them. That's all new to them. And, they just have to, they're buying in, and, it's great to see. And we're just going to keep getting better every single day.
Corey Geiger, Nittany Sports Now.
Morning, Coach. The offensive line was expected to be a big strength this year. It maybe has not been that. People on the outside might say that the line has not really played well. How do you guys evaluate things? What is the way you look at things through 4 weeks?
I just look at it if we're getting better every day. And I truly think we are. And I think the guys feel that way. We're just building great habits and just growing from, what we need to learn from. And, I think guys are buying into that, and, being great takes time. Not everyone, it doesn't just happen overnight. And, we're just going to keep on working on our fundamentals, our details, and, and our mentality.
Go to Rich Scarcella, Reading Eagles.
Good morning, Phil. I have a two-part question. First of all, can you go back to your first season as a full-time member of the BC staff and compare that transition to this transition? And secondly, can you evaluate Michael Menet to this point? Thank you.
Yeah. My transition is just, guys just getting to know, how I coach and what I do. And, that takes time. My fundamentals and techniques take, time, and being able to do it in live situations. That's the part of growing as an offensive lineman. And I can even just go back from when I played, as when I learned new things, or when I had to learn a new offense. I had to learn a whole new offense as a freshman, and it took me some time, just because the little fine details of everything takes time. So understanding that and just going through that grind, and that's where we're at right now as an offensive line. Just continue to keep getting better, continue to work on our fundamentals and our details, and at the end of the day, it will all come through. And that's what these guys truly believe in. You can see it this week, how we came out and how we're practicing, and how we came out in that second half in Nebraska. We're going to build off of that, and we're going to keep growing off of that. And then Michael Menet, he's smart. He takes coaching very well. He understands the game plan. He's always in watching film. He's getting guys to watch film with him. So he's that leader, and he's kind of that guy that's understanding, buying into what I'm saying and what we're saying as an offensive staff. And he's a leader that we need to make sure that we keep growing as an offensive line, as an offense, and as a program.
Go to Tyler Donahue, Lions 247.
Hey, Phil, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate it. If I could ask about two players on your starting lineup who are in different phases of their career, Rasheed Walker at left tackle and then Will Fries now at right guard. You expressed excitement this offseason about both of those guys. Can you kind of evaluate where they are at different stages right now? And I guess kind of, do you feel like Rasheed Walker is maximizing all of that kind of ridiculous potential that you discussed earlier?
He's getting better and better every week. That's something that I hope I know I see, and I hope you guys see watching it. He's growing in his understanding of the game. His technique is getting better. His understanding his opponent, like he's ready for whoever he goes against, because he's understanding how to do that, and he's growing in that way. Which I harp on our guys all the time. To be great, it's all the no talent things. It's about how you prepare. How you come out to practice. Every single day you have to go out there like you're going to play your best game, and the way you do that is by how you prepare all week. So he's getting better. Technically, I'm working on some things with him, and he's growing off of that. And then Will Fries is just versatile. He can play anywhere. And you saw him play right guard. You saw him play right tackle. And that's why he's special, and that's why I think he can play at the next level, because you only dress 7 to 8 guys in for each game in the NFL, and to have a guy that can play everywhere, it's being versatile is key. So it's showing what he can do and how smart he is at the same time.
Let's go to Audrey Snutter with The Athletic.
Thanks for your time today, Phil.
Yeah, thank you.
I just wanted to see if you could kind of quantify. I know the lack of padded practices, James Franklin has said, certainly with the O-line, that's had an impact. How did you try and move past that? I mean, do you think these first 4 weeks are more so the byproduct of not having that as that line tries to adjust to techniques, or how would you kind of evaluate what you lost, without that?
Good question. I really don't think about what I lost. I just think about every day just trying to, come out and see what we had, what we got. We had those, OTAs, if you want to call them, or whatever we had during the summer. And, during that, I coach as hard as, we can, is the time strength that we had. And, but, it's just the guys understanding, how I coach and what, I do. And it's just, we're just building, off of that. And, for the guys that it's a new offense, a new offensive line coach, new coordinator, we're just building off of that. And we're, at the end of the road, it will all come to light, but we just have to keep growing. And for the first 4 games, we have to fight right now. We're just fighting adversity as a program. And I know that Coach Franklin is the man to push us through, and what he's done and how these guys are motivated every day. It just shows what kind of leader he is and what kind of leader, what he's done for this program.
Let's go to Nate Bauer, Blue White Illustrated.
Hey, Phil, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Hey, did just, if you can clarify for me, did you try to teach, like to instruct fine technique virtually?
I tried. But,
like, what did that look like? How did that go?
Just trying to. Well, I had like 5. So all I had with them was 5 winter workouts where I kind of showed them the basics, and then from there I had film from it, and I just tried to critique it off of that, the best way I could. And then from there I tried to just show them clips of guys doing it right from the NFL to me showing them some videos of me doing it, just trying to get them to see it so that they could do it when they were at home. So that was, our way of trying to get the technique going when they were gone till, for 6 months. But, I tried to do it in many different ways and tried to be, creative as possible. But, it was definitely a learning process for all of us.
Joe Giuliano, Philadelphia Inquirer.
Good morning, Phil. Des Holmes was not on the participation report for the Nebraska game. Was that a healthy scratch, as they say in hockey? And could you talk about his development so far this season?
That was medical, so I'm not really allowed to talk about that. But before that, he was doing a heck of a job. He was playing guard, doing good things, and he he's developing well, and we thought he was going to play a lot of football for us this year, and he still has a chance to do that.
Let's go to New Bias School Board, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Coach, what's been the toughest part about this for you coming in as a new coach? Franklin talked earlier about how this is probably the worst year to be a new coach of a new unit. How tough has that been for you to adapt to this season?
Good question. I'm just taking it every day at a time, just knowing that, I get a great opportunity to coach young men that want to be great, and just trying to show them as many things as possible, trying to get them to understand it's not only about just the game of football, it's just about life. Like, stuff that I've been through and my family's been through, and just trying to build them. We're all learning through this process. We're all learning, we're all growing. And if we take it as a positive, we take it as a learning experience, not a negative, I think at the end of the day, you're going to grow, as a person and as a football player. So, I kind of just think about it as I get a chance to wake up and coach great guys that want to come out there and do great and want to get better. And, that's what Penn State football is all about. And that's the culture that, Coach Franklin has built here. And, it's a great opportunity for me. And it's just something that I love to do. So I don't really think about it that way. I just think about it as a chance to have fun and do things that, I get to do.
But Mark Brennan, Fight On State.
So can you take us through kind of what's going on at that right guard spot? Because I think CJ was there, Fries I think played, and I think even Juice played a few snaps in one of the games. Are you searching for the right answer or relying on depth? What's your kind of take at that spot?
Yeah, relying on depth and just having guys, trying to make sure, guys are fresh, just moving guys around and making sure that, we have experience, because, one snap, I'm going to need one of them. And so we're building those, repetitions, building those reps, and getting them experience, because, at any moment you're going to need them. So if it's, in crucial time and we have to throw someone in there that hasn't had any reps, then it's going to be hard. So that's kind of our mindset, and, making sure we give everyone the opportunity to, to play.
Let's go to Greg Pickle and Lot.
Coach Franklin talked last night about recruiting, and that, the best way to do it is being honest and truthful with recruits. But how would you assess how things have gone since you've got here and started to build relationships? And what can you define the challenge of what it means to not be able to host kids now until at best April 16th?
Yeah, recruiting right now is definitely difficult. You're being able to build. You have to build relationships through Zoom, through FaceTime. Guys can't really come to campus, and you can't really have that interaction with them where they meet you, they meet your family, which is, I think, a big part of recruiting. Having my wife to be able to meet his parents or their parents is, I think, crucial in recruiting. And then having them being around our players, seeing the locker room, all that's big time, and definitely here because, how special of a place Penn State is. So, it's definitely something that is hard, but everyone's kind of going through it. But I think that the environment here and what this place is all about is kind of, why people choose it. So it's a little struggle there, but I think, our recruiting staff does a great job doing virtual tours, doing virtual things with the parents, with the players and the parents and the families. So it's a way of us being able to have that interaction, but just not in person. So, but, we're going to continue to do it, and we're not going to use it as we're not going to use COVID as an excuse. We're going to keep recruiting, and we're going to do a heck of a job and keep, getting those players to help us.
Tyler Donahue, Lions 247.
Phil, I'd love to pick your brain as a former and as a current coach who sees him every day. Jason Owe seems to really be hitting his stride as a defensive end at the college level. How does he challenge your tackles day in, day out? And from the perspective of an opponent, if you were watching him on tape when you were at Florida, getting ready to face a guy like that for an entire game, what are your biggest concerns?
Great question, because I think about having to block him, and I know that it would be tough because he has everything that you want in a defensive end. One, he's relentless. He's not going to stop until the whistle's blown, which, as an offensive tackle, you don't like that because you know that you have to block him for the whole entire time because he's gonna make sure that he gets to the ball. So that's definitely something. And then he's quick. He's very quick. He has great speed off the edge, and then he's powerful. So he has all the things. Like usually when the guy has great power, he doesn't have great speed, or when he has great speed, he doesn't have, but he has it all. So for that, you can't just vertical set him because he'll bull rush you. You can't just aggressive set him because he'll beat you on the edge. And then he has his hands in the run game are really tight. He's going to get his hands inside. He has it all, and he's definitely relatable to the guys that I saw play. I played against every single day at Florida that went first round. And he has all those tools and tangibles, and he's a great person as well. Like talking to him, he's a great kid.
Go to Corey Geiger, Nittany Sports Now.
Phil, can football be coached this way? I mean, basketball, you can go out and work on your free throws and your jump shot and your driveway. Baseball, you can go hit some batting practice. With the down and dirty, nitty-gritty things that you have to do, you're talking about time. James is talking about coaches having false positives and carrying computers out on the field during practice so they can see. I mean, is it absurd to think that we can even expect any level of normalcy when you're doing things like this?
As coaches, I think so. I mean, it's definitely difficult. I definitely see what you're saying, and of course, it's not going to be, exactly what you want, but it is what it is, and you just have to try to find different ways to, get through that. And of course, we didn't have as many padded practices as we wanted, or we couldn't. But we still have to play the game, and we have to make sure that we do everything we can to, get ready. And we have to fight through adversity as coaches and make sure that we have our guys in the best possible situation and the best chances to win on Saturday. So. But it's definitely different. It's definitely not normal. But that's the way it is right now.
Time for a few more. We got Audrey Snyder in The Athletic.
Phil, building off of that, because James has mentioned the 43 false positives with the program, have you experienced a false positive this season? And if you have or haven't, what's it been like at practice when the computers are out there? I know Terry Smith and Brent Pry both have missed time this week.
I have not, but we have, we just have to make sure that if I did lose, a player, that it's the next guy's mentality till he comes out, and we do get that it was negative. So we're kind of just it's another thing we have to just get through it and fight through it. And it's good thing is it's only a couple hours that they have to wait. So it is what it is, I guess.
Couple more. We got Nate Bauer, Blue White Illustrated.
Hey, Mike Mennett yesterday was talking. He brought up. I think he called it a think box. Can you explain what that concept kind of entails?
Yeah, it's just when you hear a play call, or when what's your think box, like what are you thinking about when you get the play? What's going through your mind? What footwork? What technique? What details? Like what triggers in your brain so that now you can go and play fast. And everybody in every play has a different think box. Like a quarterback might be, the safety road. Coach Rocca might be like, hey, when you get this play, make sure you look at the corner. Like that's your thing. Blah, blah, blah. And the corner does this, that. For me, it might be for Rashid. What your think box on this play is, hey, make sure you're taking this footwork. Make sure if the guy does cross your face, you wash him down and stuff like that. So everybody's think box on every play is a little bit different, but at the end of the day, it's trying to get them to play fast and do their job at a high level. And guys, and you probably see it sometimes, that they're thinking too much. They don't know what to do, or they don't have the right technique, or they're playing high because they're thinking too much. So their think box is trying to narrow everything down as narrow as possible, to do their job at a high level.
Last question, Neil Riddell, Tuna here.
Hey, thanks, Greg. Hey, Phil. I was curious, playing Iowa this week, they're kind of known for their linemen and their program. What have you seen from them, both in evaluating them this year and over the years, of just what they do that's made them so successful up front?
I think they do a great job of recruiting. I think they do. They get those guys that that want to be developed, that have a chance to be developed at a high level. It looks like watching their linemen over the last couple of years, they're athletic, they can move their feet, and then their strength conditioning program get them big and strong, and then they coach them right. They coach them with great details. They coach them to understand the game of football, and then talking in their D lines the same way. I mean, you watch them; they're fundamentally sound. They're going to come off the ball. They're high motor. They're relentless. It's probably an O-line, D-line deal because, they go against each other every day of practice. They both have to make sure they're living up to expectations, of their coaches and of their program. So, their D-line, this is going to be a challenge for us, this week against their D-line. So we're excited about that, and we're going to get after them, and it's going to be a hard-nosed game.